Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 5, Episode 53. It is Thursday morning. Been home for a little while now. And got a little bit of shut-eye, and it's time to go. Quick turnaround here. Time to get out of the house. It is raining this morning. It is warm this morning. Like, ridiculously warm. If you remember from the last episode, on the way home, I was saying that it was in the high to mid 30s, and I was worried it might get down to 32 degrees because it was raining, and then the road would be frozen. Well, this morning it's 57 degrees. Today's high is 58, and we are going to, sorry about that, I will call them back. And we are going to be going to my kid's school first because he forgot his medicine and he forgot his lunch. So we're going to go do that first. Then we have to head back home because I forgot something at home, and that's why that phone call was coming in. And then we are going to a nearby casino, and then we'll might play some poker, but we have like 3 meetings between now and then. So the next few hours are going to be busy, and it is still raining, and raining heavily. So let's head out to the school first, get that taken care of, and then we'll go from there. Yesterday was a decent day, made like 1600 or something like that, 1650. So it was a decent day, but a lot of driving, very tired, very tiring, lots of miles, but you know, we're doing what we have to do. Look forward to getting back out to Vegas again. So anyway, that's what's going on right now. You're all caught up, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, I am back, and I did drop off that stuff to my son at school. Didn't want to take his medicine, so whatever, did my best. Yeah, at least he got his lunch, and headed out to the casino, which is actually the opposite direction of the school. Got here looking around. Right now, I can tell you before playing anything, someone is here as we speak. I'm looking at machines right now that were marked. So I don't think I'm going to find anything, but let's give it a shot here. I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back. Still raining outside. It's a lot lighter now, but still raining. And just leaving this casino, and had a really rough time. I knew right away that it was going to be tough in there. I could tell someone was already in there, if not currently in there. And I just had a real rough time. I was never ahead at all in there, just bad the whole way through. Ended my session down $270, so definitely disappointing. It's been bad here at this place lately, which is the closest place to where I live. Just haven't had any good results lately, so got to be a lot more careful. I might have to say maybe stop coming here. I don't know what else to do. If there's too much competition, not enough games, then maybe I'm better off sleeping in on those days, or just, I don't know, just skipping it on those days. So that's what I'm facing right now. And I have a meeting coming up in about 20 minutes, another meeting. So I'm going to get as far as I can toward the poker club, and then we're going to start the meeting. The meeting should end right around the time that the club opens, so hopefully there'll be no problem getting in there and playing some poker and trying to win some money back. So currently minus 270. Probably order some food to be delivered at the club too. Not too hungry yet, it's too early. So that's what's going on right now, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, I am back. I played poker for I don't know how long, because I had my meeting was until noon, and then I got in there about 10 after, and then I had to wait for a long time. There were 7 people on the list, and they had told people that it was going to be a while, and then it ended up that they had a seat right away, but by then people had left to do other things, get a haircut, go get lunch, all this other stuff. So they opened up a table for us, and we paid our fee and all that kind of stuff. And then we sat there, three of us, for, I would say, half an hour or so. I ended up going and getting food and coming back, and it was still not started. Um, so I'd say an hour and 15 minutes or so, and bought in for 400, put 200 in my pocket, and played with 200 on a 1-2 table. Started off pretty strong. I won the first two hands. I was ahead like 150, and then over the next little while I was kind of ground down a little bit till I was only up like 50, 60. Got involved in some pretty decent bigger hands. Let me see. I gotta tell you though, I played so well today. I don't know what it was. I was really relaxed. I was just chilling, playing, doing the right thing, not worrying about the amount of money it was or whatever, going by the odds, doing all that stuff, just feeling really good about it. And at one point I was ahead. I was, like I said, I'd bought in for 200. I was up to like 675 and took a bad beat. And then there was one hand too where I had 6-8 suited and flopped an 8 and 2 clubs. Yeah, an 8 and 2 clubs, and I had 6-8 of clubs. And then rivered a club. So there was a 10 queen ace on the board of clubs. So there was, and I had the 8 of clubs. So I started thinking about it. It was 20, and I called the 20, and then the guy to my left makes it 120. The other guy folds, so it's just heads up. I got to call another 100. And I'm thinking about it, and there was only 3 clubs on the board. So in order for me to lose, I'd have to have the other guy have 2 clubs, of which one of them was a king of clubs, queen of clubs, or 9 of clubs. 8 of clubs is not good, but if you think about it that way, so I ended up calling, and he had the queen of clubs, so he had the best card. And I guess that's a mistake. The guy next to me seemed to think I didn't make a mistake, but I thought about it for a long time. There was another hand where I had a 4-5 suited in my hand, and the flop was 9 king, maybe 5. And then it was 9-5-5. And the turn was a king, and the river was a 9. So there's 2 9s, 2 5s on the board, and I have a 5. Well, on the flop, when the first 9 flopped, and I had a set, or I had trips, when the first 9 flopped, the guy didn't bet it. And then I bet the turn, and I checked the river, and he bet the river. And I thought, wait a minute here. Now, he didn't bet it initially, and now he's betting it on the river. So does he have that 9? I thought about it for a minute, and I looked at him, and I kind of felt like from earlier I'd noticed a similar tell, and I ended up calling the extra. I think it was 80 or 100 on that one, and he didn't have it, so I won that hand. I had one hand where I had a set of aces on the flop, and someone bet before me on the flop. I called. Pre-flop, I was one of the first to act, so I just called the 5 because someone had straddled for 5, and I had aces, and everyone called all the way around, and I'm like, really? All these people on this table and nobody raises? So flopped the ace, so I had a set, and someone bet before me on the flop. I called. Someone bet before me on the turn. I called, and then river, everybody checks, and I bet, and I did end up getting a caller on that one. I think I bet 80 on that one, got a caller on it. I'm trying to think, what was that last hand? It was a really good hand. Oh, yeah. It was, so this was a really interesting hand. So I had I had Jack Queen, and the flop was 8, 9, 10 with 2 spades. I had a spade, 1 spade. Flop is 8, 9, 10. I have Jack Queen, so I have the nuts. And I'm thinking, okay, there's 2 spades. This guy's probably going for spades. And I check, and he bets like 60. No, I bet 60, and he calls on the flop. I bet 160, and he calls on the turn. And then the river is a spade. And I went all in, even though now there's 3 spades on the board. And he calls, and I'm like, oh, well, I'm dead. So he had 6, 7. So he had 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I had 8, 9, 10, Jack Queen. So I won that one. That one doubled me up, got me way up for the session. And then I was just talking to the guy next to me for a while about some other stuff. And I was going to get up at that point, but I didn't. I hung in there for a while. Didn't really get too many hands after that. But then they ended up moving me to the main table because I was one of the first people on the list for the second table. And I decided just to leave because now I got to learn everybody at the new table and all that, and I'm already ahead and all that. So I had bought in for 200, and I still had the 200 in my pocket. And when I left that table, I had 963. So I cashed out a total of 1163 on a $400 buy-in. So I ended the session ahead $763. So turning nothing into something. So 763 there. At this point, I think I'm going to head home. I'm going to go see my mom. I haven't seen her for a couple days. See how she's doing. Hang out with the kids a little bit. A bunch of my Pokemon stuff that I ordered came in, but I'm not going to open it because my kid's being a butt right now. And, we were kind of collecting together. One of them was the 30th anniversary boxes, which I'm just going to put away. And then there were a couple slabs that I bought. They have this thing on eBay where you're buying these slabs. It's like an auction, and they're pretty inexpensive. And then there's like 100 of them. And then one of them has a thing that says chase on it. That's you're chasing. And if you get that, then you get whatever is displayed. So usually it's like one really good, like $300-$400 Pokemon card. In this case, it was 3 decent cards, like between, I think one of them was like 40, and the other 2 was like were like $100 and something. So I started doing the math on it, and I think I may have mentioned it on the podcast. I started figuring out, okay, the value, let's say, is 300, and there's this many cards left, and the minimum is this much, and the average sale is going for this much, and I figured out an entry point for it, and I ended up winning it, and I ended up, I had a couple $100 on it. I actually pulled a couple good, I think I only bid on 4 different, 3 cards maybe, 3 or 4 cards. I ended up with pretty good cards, and on top of that, I ended up winning the chase cards, so that was good, but those arrived also. I'm not even going to open that box either, so, but I want to head home and just kind of relax, hang out with the family, do stuff for the office, get that all caught up. That shouldn't take me more than a half hour, because I didn't do anything this morning, because everything was minor and could be put off. No one's going to know if it wasn't done. But being on call, there's some things I have to do every night, so I'm going to go do those. And I may go somewhere tonight. I may take my wife with me. I'm not sure, but for now we'll keep things open. We could do some segments actually, just in case. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do something tonight, but let's do some segments. Oh man, I am pretty tired. What did you eat today, MW? Well, next to this club, there's I guess it's an Asian place. I thought it was like a place that sold chicken strips. But I got in there, it's like an Asian place, but they had chicken strips. I guess everybody goes over there and just gets the chicken. I ended up getting like a buffalo chicken sandwich, which was very unusual, not the normal buffalo sauce. had some kind of mayo on it and some other not regular buffalo sauce that you would expect. It was okay. I give it like an 8 on a scale of 2 through ace. One good thing about it was the size of it. It was a very large sandwich. Got some fries with it. Fries weren't very good. They were a little soggy. They were really thin, not very crunchy. And you know, if it wasn't for the sandwich being big, it would have been even worse grade than that. But I'll give it an 8 on 2 through ace. And what did you tip today, MW? I tipped $1 to $2 per hand. I tipped a little bit more on that big hand that was like $1,900 hand, whatever. But other than that, it was like $1 or $2, mostly $1. And what did you learn today, MW? Actually, while I was sitting there, the guy sitting next to me, really nice guy, big muscular guy, bald guy, lots of tattoos, was talking to him for a while, and someone else had asked him about his tattoos, where he got them, and how many he had. He said his whole body was tattooed, and that he got them in prison. I'm like, oh, he didn't look like a guy who would have spent time in prison, but he'd spent 20 years in prison. That must have been hard to lose that much of your young life, because it looked like he was probably still in his maybe late 30s, early 40s. So that's a long time. To do something when he was 18, and I don't know. But he said, he was telling me, he said, yeah, you know, God is good. You know, that's what he said. Imagine that. You spend 20 years in prison, you say God is good. He said that he's got his own house, he's got a couple trucks, he's got his own business, and he's got a gambling problem, he said. And I said, well, you look like you're doing pretty well. He's like, actually, I lose 90% of the time. I said, well, you know, you got to learn how to win. There's things out there that you can do so that you can be ahead. But if you're, you know, if you're addicted to it, even people who come out ahead will still lose everything they have, because they'll give it all back. You see, I've even described about these Asian guys, specifically Chinese guys, who have these crews working for them. And then at the end of the night, you see them playing either baccarat or slots that aren't beatable, and they're just throwing all that money away that all those people just made for them throughout the day. So, but you know, I did say, yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do to make your odds better, or even be ahead of the house in some situations. So, anyway, we exchanged information. I don't know if I'll hear from him or not, but seemed like a nice enough guy. But for now, I'm going to put things on hold here, and I'll probably be back to update you. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today. After all, I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.